Hello, welcome to another math studies video. We're going to be looking at correlation. Now, the important thing about correlation is that, as we said, it has to deal with two variable data. I go into a house and I measure simultaneously how many bedrooms there are and how many people live in the house. And I look for a correlation. Now, essentially, when there is a relationship between the two variables, we say there is a correlation. If there is no relationship, we say there is no correlation. So how is this measured? How is this relationship measured? We have a tool for that, and it's the product moment correlation coefficient, which is a very long, boring name, so I just recommend you use R. Now, this value of R is always going to be between -1 and 1. If R is close to 0, there is no correlation. If R is close to 1, you have to say strong positive linear correlation. If R is close to -1, you say strong negative linear correlation. So, in other words, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for, is the R close to 1, R close to 0, R close to -1. How much? Well, that's going to depend. In reality, it depends on the disciplines. In some disciplines, they look for a stronger R, some they don't care so much. Let's say that for you, roughly, if it's over 0.75, you say there's a strong positive linear correlation, but you will see this later on. Here's an example of R, and I want to make a point here, especially on the fact that this is very used in statistics. This is very much one of the fundamental tools used in any kind of study that you might make. So this is extracted from an important study of 2001 on the effects of education on crime. So, you know, somebody made a big research, figure out what the level of education of people who were in prison was, etc., and came up with the results. And this is what it turns out, what the results turned out to be. Probability of imprisonment for less years of schooling is much higher. For more years of schooling, it's much lower. Now, how much? Is this like a perfect trend? Is this a bit like too cloudy? Are there really like, is the relationship very clear? That's what R measures. And in this case, R is going to be -0.93. That's very close to -1. And hence we say there is a strong negative linear correlation. And that's how it works. What can you say? You can say that more years of schooling is related with less chances of going to jail. You can't talk about causes. We'll talk about this a little later. It's just a relationship. Is there a relationship? So, how do we find this R value? We're just going to do this very simple example. We're going to use a GDC to find R giving this data. Now we only need to find R using the GDC. There's no need to go for the complicated formula that you actually need to find R. Let's do it. Here's the calculator. So how do I do it? I just turn it on. I go to Stat, Edit, and I'm going to put my data in. 6, 9, 7, 7, 4, 5. And over here, I have to put 30, 33, 30 again, 31, oops, that didn't work one, 31, 27, 29. Now, once the data is in my list, I go to Stat, Calc, LinReg, and I press Calculate. And if this is what you get, I will explain more about this later on. This is actually how you do R, but you see there's no R here. The reason for that is you're going to have to change the configuration of the calculator every time, pretty much for every exam, because if your calculator is going to get reset, as it is going to get reset, you're going to have to do this yourself. How do I make it so my calculator shows me R? You have to go to Catalog, so you press second, then on the 0 there's a catalog, and here you're going to have to scroll down all the way until you find something called DiagnosticOn. This is what tells my calculator that I want it to show me R every time I do the linreg function. So again, here's my list. Great. I go to Calc, linreg ax+b, calculate, and now I get the value of R. And that's how it works. So it's 0.971. There is a strong positive linear correlation. Again, if you had problems, this is what you have to do. If you have this situation, remember You turn the diagnostic on, you go to catalog, diagnostic on, you have to press, make sure you see done, otherwise it's not going to work. And then you just go back to linreg ax+b to obtain R. The catalog is actually very cool because you can access all the calculator functions there. So if we one time forget how to get them, just go to catalog and use catalog. Thanks for watching. Bye.